Welcome, Norfolk enjoyers. This is episode 3 of our weekly podcast. I'm Andrew.
And I'm Steph.
And we're from Enjoying Norfolk. You can find us online at our website, enjoyingnorfolk.co.uk. And you can also find us on Instagram and Facebook.
And Twitter.
Oh, and Twitter. Yes, not forgetting Twitter. Anything else we're on?
Probably. For our third episode of Norfolk and Good, and because it is, in inverted commas, Blue Monday, when we are, very 12, doesn't it? When we are recording this, I know you're probably not listening to it on Blue Monday, but that's when we're recording it. It's supposed to be the most miserable day of the year. And to be honest with you, that bar has already been set pretty high by the last 12 or sort of 10, 11 months. So honestly, if this day's the worst day of the year, we are all in trouble. So far, how has your Blue Monday been, Andrew? Has it been that bad?
I don't really want to speak about it. No, yeah.
Deary me.
Only
bad,
joking. No, it's not been a bad day, actually.
Has it been the worst day of the year so far?
No.
Apparently it's the worst day of the year so far, allegedly, because it's quite a few weeks since Christmas and it's all a bit bleak and the days are short and apparently there's not a lot to look forward to. So apart from challenging that and showing you that there are indeed lots of things to look forward to, especially here in beautiful Norfolk, we thought we would talk about wellbeing in Norfolk, because we want you all to be well. So I suppose the first question we have to ask is, are you well? Are you well out there? And we also want to know, what makes you feel better? What do you do to feel better, both mentally, physically, emotionally? When you're feeling a bit low, what sort of things do you do? So again, we'd love to hear your feedback on that. Drop us an email or contact us via the website, enjoyingnorfolk.uk, or through the channels that Andrew mentioned at the beginning of this podcast.
Yeah.
Andrew, what makes you feel better?
Well, what makes me feel better is the largest Toblerone you can buy. Sitting with my feet up watching the telly.
Right.
No. Well, it would make me feel better, but it's not what I do.
That would really make you feel better. Don't pretend it wouldn't.
Okay, it does. It does.
That's like the true response, really. Is there anything else, apart from masses of chocolate, which honestly I'm sure that there are lots of people out there would agree with, is guaranteed to cheer you up just a little bit, isn't it?
A little bit, but not general overall well-being. I wouldn't say that it does that.
What, a massive Toblerone?
No, not generally.
Okay, so what else?
What else? Well, I love walking.
Mm-hmm.
I love opening the front door and just getting out there, basically, and going for a walk. If we had the opportunity and we could go further afield, I love getting out into the woods, into the forests, and walking there between the trees. And I also love walking up along the coast as well, by the sea. But at the present time, we're kind of restricted a bit, but we've found lots of lovely local walks. So, yeah, and we tend to get on our daily walk. Which is good. I miss the school run because we walk on our school run, which is about a mile there and back. So that's a good way. It's a lot of
steps, isn't it? It's about 7,000 steps or something like that. It's good. Or 5 to 7. It's good 5,000 to 7,000 steps depending on the route you take and that sort of thing, isn't it? It's a good stride.
Yeah, and at the beginning of the day, it gets your enthusiasm up to start the day.
Gets your blood pumping.
Yeah, definitely. And at the end of the day, it's good to relax. After you've had a day at work.
Decompress after a day in the office.
Get out of the office and get out about. So, walking is one of the key
Yeah, I am.
relaxations for me.
I'm wholeheartedly with you there, especially since we've been in sort of various states of lockdown these past few months. For me, the daily walk is really, really... it's just the highlight of the day sometimes. Just getting out and feeling the hot, the cold, fresh air in your face at the moment. We're in sort of a centrally heated environment and I don't like central heating loads. So when I get outside and I feel the kind of cool air on my face and the actual air, not inside air, I can put one foot in front of the other. I think I could walk for miles actually and just lose myself in my thoughts.
Yeah. Just open the front door and just go.
Well, we have to at the moment because we're supposed to obviously just walk from home. And we have, you touched on it a little bit there, we've discovered some fantastic walks while we've been locked down. So that's one of the singular silver linings of the situation.
Yeah, definitely.
What places have we discovered where we've been walking?
Well, we've walked the Edith Cavell, part of the Edith Cavell way.
Oh, we did that, earlier on in the summer when lockdown was a bit eased. We did part of the Edith Cavell Trail. We walked a bit of it and we cycled it.
Yes.
I've run a part of it and then we walked a part of it again the other day. Not all in one day. Well, it's a really nice route.
She would be pleased.
It just takes you a little bit out of Norwich, out via Intwood, south of the city, and then around to Swadston, where Edith Cavell came from. You can pop into the church and there's a war memorial there with her name engraved on it, and she was baptised in the church as well, I think.
She was,
Yeah, so lots of connections there. So it's quite interesting from a historical point of view, a bit of local history, but it's also just a little bit rural, so the roads tend to be fairly quiet.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
When they're not, there are some bits of the walk which don't have any pavements.
Yeah,
which is a little bit touch and go.
Yeah.
But
over at Keswick and places, which is you're crossing the road there, but it's not very busy.
It's not usually very busy, and particularly now while we're all locked down. And we Master Marshes.
Yeah, beautiful.
They're
lovely.
We never really took advantage of it before, did we?
No, not really. And you can get right down to the river there. Obviously, when it's not overflowing, obviously.
The water's very high at the moment, isn't it?
Very high at the moment and very muddy. So if you're going there at the present time, it's welly or walking boot weather.
We have a friend who, do you remember they did a walk there a week ago? They nearly lost their shoes.
We didn't tell them to go that way.
If they're listening, they'll know who they are.
They got very muddy indeed, didn't they?
Yes, they did, yeah.
And we walked over there in the summer, and there's some cheeky cows over there, aren't there? Cheeky cows, which I just remember.
I was going to mention that. Yeah, I was going to say you can spot the wildlife there, and tell us about the cow. If it's not going to get us into trouble, that is.
Well, I don't think it will, because I did speak to the farmer. So and as I'm a bit of a cow whisperer, I was a bit disappointed of how it all ended. Basically, well, we were walking over at Master Marshes, and there's some cows in the fields over there. So we were walking through, and the cows were quite close, and then one of them spotted us, didn't it, and started following us.
When they lock eyes with you, so when they suddenly look at you, and you're like, should I back away?
Should I go? So we walked a bit fast, didn't we, to get to, and we were heading towards a kissing gate.
No, but the cow started following us.
It
That's
did.
The other thing, which is why we were walking away at pace.
Yeah, it did.
We were you just never know.
A little bit nervous.
I'm sure they're lovely cows.
Anyway, we got to the kissing gate, and we made it through the kissing gate. But to our surprise, the cow decided to enter the kissing gate itself.
Followed us into the kissing gate,
didn't it? But the gate was shut. But the cow had watched us go through the kissing gate, and it managed to angle its head about, didn't it?
Yeah.
And open the kissing gate and come through.
It was quite amazing. Yeah.
In which case, I was trying to tell it to get back, and it was doing a bad thing. But if you've ever tried to stop a cow, it is quite difficult. So I just let it come through in the end.
You let it come through. I don't think you had very much choice, to be honest. Yeah, you let it come through.
I let it
It was through.
Yes.
It was through the kissing gate. It had seen the grass was greener on the other side.
It was.
And it worked out how to use a kissing gate, and it followed us through the kissing gate. And we were like, oh no, the cows escaped. What's going to happen now? It's all our fault. We've shown it how to open the gate.
So I was a bit worried, because it was obviously the wrong side of the gate. So,
and being a good citizen.
Yes, very good citizen. I found the number for the farmer who owns said cows, and gave him a call, left a message, and also sent him a text. And luckily he came back and said they're always doing it.
Yeah, it's not their first time.
It's not their first time. They are very naughty. So that was one of our adventurous walks, wasn't it?
It was one of our fun-filled. Well, that walk had everything really. It had the walking element.
It did.
It was local, fresh air. It had a bit of wildlife interaction.
Yeah.
Humour, a slight element of terror to it.
Yeah.
First when the cow followed us, and then when we thought we'd allowed it to escape, and then a happy ending at the end. So, and an
Very
anecdote.
Good. Yes. And a story to tell everybody.
What more could you want, really?
Yes.
So you mentioned you like to walk in normal times up on the coast. What walks do you do like a coastal walk? I know. What walks can you recommend? What walks do you like, Andrew?
No, I do like all segments of the coastal path. The one at Brancaster Stave.
We've done that a few times from the White Horse.
Yep, from the White Horse.
Go down the end of the car park of the White Horse at Brancaster, and then turn left or right. Really, we've done both, haven't we?
Yes. Yeah.
You can walk for ages.
You can, and you can also take it a bit inland as well, can't you? Because we took it inland once and then came back down via the Jolly Sailors in Brancaster.
Yeah, there is a circular route which you go down a bit and then you come across the road, walk along the top a little bit.
Yeah, lovely views.
Up there. Yeah, and obviously if you can end the walk in a pub, like the Jolly Sailors,
and start in a pub is always good. Start in a pub and end in a pub.
That is always a real bonus. Yeah, I think that is the perfect walk.
Always good, and circular is nice. Circular walks are nice, aren't they?
Yeah. You're not retracing your steps. You're always seeing something new, and it feels like you've sort of accomplished a complete circle of something.
Yeah, yeah. Very satisfying indeed.
Yeah.
And I also like to get down onto the beach as well.
You do love a beach walk, Andrew? Yeah.
I do.
Yeah.
I love looking at the pebbles and finding really nice pebbles. And I love the sea when it's lapping up against the shore as well.
The sea air is supposed to be very good for you.
Very. Yeah, I always feel better when I've done a beach walk. And I do like, the one I do like is Cromer to Overstrand.
Yeah, the Cromer to Overstrand. The kids like the Cromer Lighthouse walk, don't they?
They do, yeah.
Go down the beach, walk up to the Cromer Lighthouse near the golf course, up there, and then along, and then you can either come back down and go along the beach again, or you can go back up by the road, which we did just recently before we were locked down again, didn't we?
Yeah.
That was really nice.
Yeah, you can get down, there's those steps, isn't there, down to the beach, or you can come up from there. So you can go either way, can't you?
And you get quite high at the lighthouse. There's some quite good views as well.
Oh, it's beautiful.
There's some pictures of which we took, actually. They're on our Instagram, so if you have a look at some of the most recent posts, there's some really nice pictures there of of Cromer Lighthouse.
Cool. About yourself, what do you do for your general well-being?
So again, I love a walk. I love walking, and even more so, I love being outside and I love being active. And walking and running have been my absolute salvation during the last few months. I think for me, they've kept me sane, basically. Yeah. So, as you probably can testify. Well, sort of as sane as I can be in these conditions.
Yeah, I probably wouldn't be here if it wasn't for you going for a run.
So, as you know, I bought a treadmill in the first lockdown, and I've been using that when I couldn't get out for walks or exercise, or if the weather's not very good. And again, that's just been an absolute saving grace, basically. But
good.
I love our daily walks. Yep. I love walking in nature. I think it's really good for your well-being. I loved... One thing about the very first lockdown was when it was super quiet, how much you could notice the birds, hear the birds singing.
Yeah.
And obviously we were treated to glorious weather in the first lockdown back last sort of March, April, May time. But the birds, you could hear them everywhere and see them everywhere, and you could spot the wildlife. So I really, really enjoy that. And like you, beach walks and that sort of thing. I do still believe the best walks end in a pub. But failing that, I do like to incorporate food and drink in my walks. Yep. So things like Sheringham Park, in normal times when they've got their cafe open and you can grab something from the shop or a coffee on the way round or something like that.
Nice bacon sandwich to start the walk off.
For you, for
me.
Non-vegetarians,
What did you...
Excellent.
And somewhere else we went, they had that pasty, didn't they?
That was Oxford Hall. That was amazing. It was like a vegetarian curry pasty, wasn't it? Yeah. That was just what the doctor ordered. It was hot and it had a little bit of a kick to it flavour-wise. Grab one of those and have to power you around the walk. Yeah. Excellent. And the nice thing is you're sort of offsetting any calories, so it's just a whole bunch of well-being vibes, basically. So you just feel good about the whole thing, but you really feel if it's at the end of a walk, I think you really feel you've earned it. So you've earned that spot by the fire with maybe a pint of something local and something nice to eat.
Well-being already. I feel better already just talking about it.
We can't do that now, unfortunately. But yeah, so I really like walking and running, and I like being just generally outside in all weathers. And I've learnt over the last year as well to be outside in more weathers.
Yeah.
I think that's what lockdown's for, because I'm so desperate to get outside. Previously, I was a bit of a fair weather runner, but now I'm prepared to get absolutely soaked outside as long as I can get out and run.
Yeah, it's important, isn't it? And it's, as long as you've got the right gear on, it doesn't really matter, does it?
Apparently
if you're
so,
walking
yeah.
or running outside.
What's that proverb or phrase or whatever?
There's no bad weather.
Just
There's
bad clothes.
Bad clothing
No such thing as bad weather.
Yeah.
Just bad clothing. And in effect, if you've got the right clothes, you can get out no matter what the weather and enjoy yourself. So, also at the end of the day, it's only weather, isn't it? If you do get absolutely soaked or cold, as long as you can make it back before you die of frostbite.
Yeah.
It's not the Arctic. You'll be all right.
Yeah.
And on the subject of walking, I read an article today about, it was in The Guardian actually, by an Amy Fleming, just to give credit to the person who wrote it, 20 ways to give purpose to your daily walk, which I thought was interesting.
Nice.
Yeah, so especially when, like us, you do end up, because we're walking from home a lot now, doing the same walk a lot. I mean, we do the same walk probably 5 times a week. We try and get out once a day with the kids, whether they want to go or not, because it is good for them. But you do have to find ways. We have done a couple of things that have sort of added purpose, but just before we talk about those, so some of the suggestions, I really like, obviously, spot winter birds. That's a kind of, spotting wildlife is a big one, basically, I think. And other animals, maybe track other animals, have a little look at the vegetation around you, hunt for treasure, solve a problem, and look up and travel back in time. And I particularly like those, because I think particularly the looking up part, not necessarily when you're out in the kind of wilds, but definitely if you're doing urban walking. And this is something I love about sort of walking around Norwich or King's Lynn or any of the towns in Norfolk, really. If you look up anywhere, you see a whole new world. You see signs that are current and fading. You see architecture from the past. You see beauty and details. And it can really open up the world around you in such a really interesting way.
Yeah, there's some beautiful, when you walk around Norwich and you look up, there's some absolutely beautiful, stunning buildings.
We're so used, especially with things like phones and that sort of thing, and trying not to trip.
Just
we're always looking
down.
Yeah. But you miss, a good third of the world around you if you don't just raise your gaze.
Yeah.
There you go, raise your gaze. If you don't raise your gaze every now and then. And the hunting for treasure gave me... it reminded me of something we did in the summer between lockdowns. Do you remember?
We did. We did a city escape game. By City Escape Games.
Yeah.
And it was the Mayor Murder Mystery, I think we did. And basically this is it's a great way to spend a couple of hours in the city. Again, it's good for the present time.
Isn't it?
Yeah, in Norwich. Good for the present time because you can do it yourself, or you can do it in twos, and you can obviously social distance around the city.
And it's outside.
It is all outside. You don't have to go in anywhere, so you don't have to do it. Some trails you have to go in places where you don't have to
escape
at all.
Rooms and that sort of thing. Yeah.
And there's you have to go around the city and solve clues. And there is a time aspect to it. To do it in the fast is a little bit of an online competition.
Yeah, because you do it all on your mobile phone, don't you? With like an app.
Yeah.
And you buy the trail, but it's not hugely expensive for what it is. I think it's really good value for a good hours plus activity. And like you say, you can do it with one other person, because at the moment we're allowed to exercise with one other person. Or you can do it in a family group. Yeah,
there's the 4 of us did it.
Yeah, we did it as a family. And I think you can do it in a time frame or not in a time frame. I think it's up to you. If you want to kind of be competitive, you can do it. But I think there is the option to do it. Because
it does count down, so there's a pressure behind it. But I think it lets you continue. But I think it lets you continue over.
Yeah.
But it does count down for you to do it in a certain period of time. But we did. We solved it all, didn't we?
We did just in the nick of time. I think in an hour, and we did it in about, off the top of my head, something like 53, 54 minutes. And we were pacing it. And this is somewhere that we know pretty well, Norwich, obviously. We spend a lot of time in the city centre. And so you solve a clue on your phone, and it gives you, once you solve it, the solution gives you the clue to the next clue. So you then race around the city. It's all very kind of, was that a programme with Annika Rice? Was that Treasure Hunt?
Oh, yeah.
It's very Treasure Hunt-esque. But you look up and you
I didn't wear my
things.
all-in-one jumpsuit.
I know, I'm quite disappointed the shell suit. I know, I'm disappointed. But, that's life. But yeah, so you're sort of investigators trying to help solve the crime, the Mayor murder mystery. And overall, you cover 1.5 miles in the real kind of the hardcore city centre, though, don't you? You don't really leave the very tight city centre of Norwich. So it's 1.5 miles, but in a very small geographical spread. And it generally should take about an hour to an hour and a half. And it's satisfying, but it's good fun, isn't it, as well?
It's really good fun. Yeah, it's really good. And well, us trying to solve the clues, but the kids as well.
Yes, yeah, they got really
well
involved
in the whole thing, didn't they? So, it was a good 90 minutes of fun, wasn't it?
It was, and something to do outdoors. So again, it's especially while restrictions permitting, it's probably not something you could necessarily do. I'm not sure whether you could do it now, to be honest with you, whether it would be. Sure. But certainly in outside lockdown times, it's a really good activity for the summer. It's a really good family activity. It's a good active activity. So you're sort of getting out, doing a bit of exercise, also discovering more about Norwich.
Using your brain.
Yeah, absolutely. So it challenges. So for well-being, it's sort of physical, mental, and from that point of view of being sort of sociable, but in a safe outside environment, your emotional well-being as well. So that was a really good thing. So I think that's a really good suggestion, actually, with the ways to give purpose to your walks is to, do something like a treasure trail or a city escape game. Or look up and do a sort of history walk or something like that.
Yeah, because it made us look up, didn't it? It made us look at certain aspects of the city.
I'm a big fan of looking up. I love looking at old architecture anyway. I think it's really important. I think you can find beauty and interest anywhere you walk. So some walks we've done that involve ending in things like churchyards or historical sites and that sort of thing. And there's just so much interest to be found there. They're fascinating. You've just got to look beyond the obvious. Yeah,
and we mentioned going into the wooded areas and things like that. Even if you look up there, the trees are beautiful, aren't they? The way they march up towards the sky.
And it's really mindful to sort of just stand and listen to the trees.
Yeah,
I like to do that at Sheringham Park, particularly. It's a National Trust site up on the coast. And those pines have a real kind of swooshy noise when the wind's blowing through them. And if
spooky
you just
sometimes the
way it's all around you like a wall of sound. And also it's a very kind of primeval looking forest, very ferny. Yeah. And you can imagine it being really relatively unchanged for a lot, thousands and thousands of years. Okay, so I think in our household at least, walking has been something that's really contributed positively to our well-being over the past year, hasn't it? And we've always enjoyed doing Norfolk walks. There's absolutely loads of fantastic places to walk around Norfolk, aren't they? And so many terrains as well. You've got rural walks, tracks through woodland, like you say, urban walks and coastal walks. We've got it all, really.
And lots of trails that are out there
and some are accessible as well. So you can take buggies, you can take wheelchairs, you can take dogs and that sort of thing. So okay, so other than walking and eating Toblerone, what else do you like to do to feel better?
To feel better, since March when all the lockdowns started, I've got back into gardening.
Oh yeah.
Which I did really enjoy gardening, but kind of ran out of time to do gardening. And obviously lockdown and spare time, and obviously the lovely weather, I managed to get out to the garden. And, do my own vegetable patch.
Yeah.
And just tidy up the garden generally. And, and just being out there, whether it's on my own or with everybody else, it's just really, really relaxing.
Would you say it really relaxing when the kids helped you in the garden, Andrew?
It adds a level of danger when the kids are out there in the garden with some sharp instruments.
The garden tools.
With the garden tools, or they decide to climb the hedge. General wellness, yes, but a few more grey hairs. But being out in the garden and also growing our own veg as well, which we used.
And we did. We made use of that, and I don't think we have anything left actually now. We've used it all, but we did we ate a lot of the things we've grown, and that's a really nice feeling as well, actually. It's really nice to grow something that you know, whether you've only got a small garden or whether you've got a large sprawling garden. I think they do say that having a green thumb and being a gardener, they say gardeners are calm, particularly when gardening.
Yeah.
And I know a lot of people that have really enjoyed that activity during lockdown.
Yeah, a lot of people got out there, didn't they? And started back in the garden, growing their own veg and everything, and just seemed to enjoy it. But another thing that in the garden that we got was a hammock, didn't we?
Ah, yes, it was your Father's Day present, wasn't it?
It was. And there's nothing more relaxing and good for your well-being than a hammock in the garden on a nice sunny day.
Indeed. Although I think actually our eldest son probably took advantage of the hammock more than you did. He used to go in it to read, didn't he?
He did, and spent a lot of time out there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had to, turn upside down and empty him out a few times.
Yeah, that was done a few times. That was done on several occasions. Not just to him, but usually to both of the kids doing that to each other.
Yeah.
The hilarity of the hammock.
But it's all been good fun. The garden, basically. The garden as a space, an outdoor space, is good for your well-being.
And again, it's another one of those activities that sort of delivers on many levels. So it's a bit physical.
Yeah.
Because I remember after a few hours in the garden, you'd come in, you were absolutely exhausted. Normally, you'd completely overdone it.
Yeah.
It's also rewarding. So you've got that kind of positive feedback loop that your efforts are being rewarded because you grow stuff or you see the results of the tidying that you've done or the flowers you've planted.
Yeah, definitely.
And also you're out there just in the fresh air with the land and the bird song and all that kind of thing, away from screens, which is really, really important, I think, to most people's well-being these days because, again, screen use, I know our screen use has definitely increased loads in the last few months as a result of the pandemic and being inside more. So you're away from screens, you're with nature, which is always very grounding and calming. So it's sort of multifaceted, isn't it, in delivering well-being?
Yeah. And you're making it sound like a big estate. But it's only a very small vegetable. But it did keep us going. Is there anything else that is good for your well-being?
So I mentioned my biggest one, which is sort of exercise and running and that sort of thing. I do like a good soak in the bath, although I don't get to do that as often as I would like. Failing that, though, it's got to be reading for me, books. I'm a big bookworm, but I will read anything. I do like to read a magazine of occasion, and because we are obviously busy working parents, I don't get to sit down with a magazine as much as I'd like to, but I have had a bit more time this year. Yeah. So I've resubscribed to a magazine, which has been really nice. And I always read before bed, unless it's very late and I'm very tired. And I just find, actually, and I often say this to you, that time is probably my favourite time of the whole day. Just opening my book at the end of the night and having a little read before going to sleep. And it's lovely. Just really relaxing.
Yeah, and sets you up for a lovely night's sleep, yeah?
Sometimes.
Sometimes.
I'm not sure if that's always the case, but it's definitely enjoyable. And I do love a book for a bit of escapism and I'm relaxing, which I don't find easy. I don't find it easy to relax. So that for me is a really nice bit of downtime at the end of every day and a really nice kind of self-care-esque treat. So because we are talking about wellbeing in Norfolk today, we thought we would have a chat with someone based in Norfolk who works within that sector. So we spoke with Holly Sandiford, who is a co-founder of the organisation Art at Work. And Art at Work design and deliver art sessions to promote wellbeing and good mental health. Hi Holly, thank you for your time today.
Hi Steph, nice to speak to you.
Could you tell us a little bit about Art at Work and yourself and what Art at Work does?
Okay, I've been kind of working in community art for the last sort of 20 years, and about 3 years ago, me and Melanie Tilford and Janine Warren decided that we're kind of ready to set up our own kind of organisation, and that we had the skills and the sort of passion to do it and wanted to do things our own way, really. Mm-hmm. And so we set up Art at Work, and we design and deliver art sessions to promote wellbeing and good mental health. And that could be in the community, so long-term community projects or sessions with the council, or it could be at festivals like at Latitude. We do like upcycling and clothes for teenagers, or carnival costume making with young people for the carnival. Or we also work with businesses to kind of away days and just sort of to promote good mental health and sort of creativity as well.
Fabulous. And you're based in Norfolk, obviously. Do you generally tend to work in and around Norfolk or the east?
Yeah, the east. So I mean, we're mainly based in Norfolk. We have been sort of working in Suffolk, and we ran a project in Mildenhall for a few years. So sort of the East Anglia, really.
Fabulous, excellent. And how do you? So obviously you're used to doing, like you say, sort of workshops in person and actual events, and particularly because I imagine a lot of what you do is very kind of hands-on and practical. How has that evolved or had to change over the last year or so with the pandemic?
It's been quite challenging, but I think we've had to be quite sort of creative in how we deliver and think about, because we've been using Zoom, and think about what kind of works with that really. So we set challenges, and we've also sent out art packs to people. We sort of co-produced a zine with a group of women with mental health issues, which were then sent out with sort of art packs to people, sort of 50 women with mental health issues. And they went down really brilliantly. So the women sort of designed sort of beautiful colouring in pages and lots of different challenges, and that went really well. And we've had to design things based around walking quite a lot as well. So we'll ask to go out for walks and maybe do it like a texture walk, and sort of take photos of 10 different textures, or a colour walk where they choose a colour and take sort of 10 different pictures of different colours, and then we'll sort of design an activity based on that. But I also have designing things that people have at home. So, with materials they have at home. So, just using, what can you do with just a copy of paper and a pencil or a pen, or lots of collage, 3D collage and things. So we've had to get quite creative, which I've quite enjoyed actually, because it really gets you to push ideas with sort of keeps me on my toes.
Yeah, and it's quite nice as well, like you say. That sounds fabulous. And I imagine actually what you do is probably more valuable to people than ever before at the moment.
Definitely, I think especially when people are quite isolated and with mental health issues, but actually all of us really, I think like everyone's really struggled for different reasons in the lockdown, being isolated, not being able to go to do regular sort of activities. And I think in terms of wellbeing, I think it all makes you realise the things, I know it really made me think about what makes up my well-being, and when those things are taken away, that you do really feel the loss of it. So I think being creative and sort of looking at the world, having that kind of magic of looking at the world a little bit differently has been a gift to me just as much as for other people really.
Yeah, I absolutely love the idea of going out and having a kind of colour in mind and taking photographs based around that colour and collecting objects. I think that's a really good idea for an activity that we could all have a go at, actually. Yeah, and I've seen some of the stuff that your groups have produced while we've been sort of locked down. I've seen you share them online, and they're absolutely amazing. So, it's obviously translated really well to this kind of, the remote setup as well as being great in person, which is really good.
It's really surprised us, kind of the quality of the work that people have been created. Well, not surprised us, but we actually had
impressed.
We had an exhibition that was in person in November at the Silver Road Community Centre, because I think the women really needed something to kind of look forward to, and so did we as well. And then we actually got to see, because we see photographs of the work, and actually seeing it in person, it's beautiful. And I actually bought some of the work because it's so good. The quality is so high, really.
Oh, that's fabulous.
Better than me, really.
Oh, that's absolutely. And you're doing an MA at the moment in is it fine art?
Yes. So I think the lockdown made me really realise how much I love kind of really feeding myself creatively, and then how I enjoy then passing that on. So and I think I felt that need to really kind of come back to my own sort of artistic practice. And what I've been looking at as part of my MA is nature connection, which is something else that's been a big part of lockdown. And how I need that, and going towards and walking and creating things in response to spending time in nature.
Yeah, no, that's absolutely so important, I think. And we've actually spoken quite a lot about that in this particular episode, about how walking in particular is such an easy activity, but walking in nature it's just tonic for the soul, isn't it, really?
Absolutely, and I think it's nice that it's free. Not everyone can do it. It can be difficult if you've got sort of physical disabilities, but and even if you live in the city centre, I think I've been exploring. I'm sure lots of people have been doing this, of finding, my paths through the woods or along the river, and finding lots of different, local walks, and appreciating what's close to you, and appreciating nature as not something that's far away, but necessarily the coast or the mountains, but the idea of doorstep nature.
Absolutely, yeah. We've actually, despite obviously having lived in Norwich for many years, we've discovered some new walks during lockdown, haven't we?
We have, yeah.
Yeah,
Lots
which we've,
walks.
yeah, surprising actually. It is, like you say, it's absolutely surprising what's on your doorstep.
That was all fabulous, but what do you actually do to help yourself feel better and to help with your general well-being?
I think that's a really good question, because I think it's so important with what I do to look after yourself, because you feel quite responsible for other people's well-being. So I think it's especially, and being a parent, as you know, you have to look after yourself. And again, like spending time in nature, and during the lockdown, I'm making sure that I walk every day. Like even yesterday, it was really grim and cold and drizzly, and didn't feel like it. But I just think just getting out every day to walk is really important.
Yeah,
I've been doing yoga online every day as well.
Oh, fabulous!
Good. So that's good.
That's really
but it just depends. Like, I think all these things, it's just like, my children have got older now, and it's like, also, you don't want to beat yourself up if you can't do these things, because I know in different points of my life I've been, more kind of responsibilities and busier, and I haven't always had the time to do those things. So, it's like, I think being sort of gentle with myself and not being too judgmental when I don't do things.
Yeah.
Well,
and having
we just need to rest.
Sometimes that's all you. Sometimes that's all you can do for your own well-being. So obviously, based on your experience, and like you say, you have you brought up 3 lovely girls, and obviously now you're running a business, you're studying again. We've been through lockdowns and that kind of thing. Have you got any recommendations or tips that people listening to this could perhaps employ? Perhaps if they don't have a lot of time, things they can do that might help in a positive way, help their well-being, make them feel better, if they are pushed for time or they don't have many resources available?
I think definitely going for a walk. Yoga online is quite good, because you can just sort of go on YouTube, and I do something called Yoga with Adrienne, and it's also nice to support local sort of yoga teachers, I think, as well, if you can do that financially. Unfortunately, that's not such an easy thing at the moment for me.
Sure.
But,
or many people, I imagine.
Eating well, because I think the time that you take sort of eating well, just thinking about, as part of my MA, I've actually been looking at the microbiome and looking at gut health, which has been quite interesting. And so, like, I've been eating kimchi and kefir and making sourdough, and those things, again, they take a bit of time, but it's kind of, I have so much energy, so it's really worth spending time on just eating well, really. Just really feeding yourself, because it just pays back dividends. Even if you can get the energy to do it in the first place, it's very much sort of worth it. And I think just taking 10 minutes for yourself, just really, I suppose, listening to your body, and just really connecting in with yourself, and it's just lying down and just, whatever it is, or, even in bed, just having a little 10 minutes to yourself can make such a difference. And just being kind to yourself, and giving yourself the time that you would give to somebody else, really, and being gentle with yourself.
I think that's definitely a really good tip. Yeah, I think that's 2 things that you touched on there. I think being kind to yourself self-care is so important, and yet so easily and often overlooked. And especially if you're caring for others, like you say, whether it's 3 kids, a cat, your grandma, your parents, your business, you can't really give them everything if you're absolutely, fit to bust yourself, basically. So I think self-care is such a worthwhile thing. And also checking in with yourself every now and then, just sort of laying down, closing your eyes and thinking, how do I feel? Am I okay with all this? What can I do? I think those things are so important, aren't they?
Yeah, definitely. And I think kind of that kind of self-compassion, I know it's sort of overused today, kind of in wellness, but I just think is just so important, and like talking to ourselves and giving ourselves the time, in the same way that we would speak to a good friend, and not being tough on ourselves. So, if we're not managing to do the things that make us feel well, being gentle and not being sort of talking like too harshly on ourselves, and we can't do that sort of thing.
It's so true, isn't it? I think particularly, there are probably lots of parents out there who are doing their homeschooling, that sort of thing, trying to juggle lots of different, balance lots of different plates, and they're probably feeling really, really guilty. And like you say, it does sound really simple, sort of, looking after yourself, self-care, but actually it is so easily overlooked.
Well, we're so hard on ourselves. I mean, I think we're looking back over sort of parenting 3 children, and you never know if they're going to sort of turn out how it's going to all turn out. But I just wish I could go back and just be a bit more gentle on myself and feel less guilty. But I think as a parent, it's very difficult not to. But, if I could change one thing, it would be just like go back and just relax, tell myself to relax, and it will be okay.
It will all be
okay. Don't guilty all the time.
So true. Yeah, so true.
Do what you can rather than trying to be. I think we try and be perfect parents, but by looking after ourselves, we're actually teaching our children. Our children do actually kind of copy what we do. It's not what we do to be great parents, and I think that gets forgotten in perfect parenting as well.
It's so true.
Trying to do everything perfectly.
Yeah, absolutely. And also, you can't do it well if you're at the point of exhaustion, sort of emotionally and physically. So,
it all goes wrong.
Indeed. Oh, they're really important points there, Holly.
Yeah,
Thank you.
Tips, yeah. So, obviously, we can't travel very far at the moment. But when things do sort of open up again, what are your favourite Norfolk places or businesses that you believe help promote or boost well-being?
Where do you like to go?
I love Norfolk. I think Norfolk's there's so many lovely places in Norfolk to go. Obviously, I love the coast. I love fish and chips. So going to Cromer for fish and chips can't be beaten. I think good for you to have fish and chips, definitely. Occasionally. But and I love. There's some beautiful walks in the summer as we were walking around the Caister Roman Fort.
Oh yeah,
kind of wildflower. There's just on the other side of the road.
Oh, High Ash Farm.
Kind of wildflowers. Yeah. Oh, and that's just that
beautiful.
Just like seeing all the different flowers throughout the summer was just
so lovely.
Such joy, really.
We discovered that this year.
Yeah.
Well, last year.
Yeah.
We only discovered that in the summer last year, and it's so fabulous, isn't it?
Yeah. And so close as well, to Norwich. It's not, you don't have to go too far, which is nice, And also, actually, recently, before this lockdown, discovered Horsford Woods as well. And that's absolutely beautiful. And I had a friend took me there for a walk, and we sort of did a bit of mushroom foraging, and she showed me where some, which I can't reveal, but
top secret.
Very nice mushrooms were. Top secret, but yeah.
Oh, fantastic.
And that's so close as well, and it's absolutely gorgeous. It's got that kind of magical feel with lots of different mosses and this sort of star moss, and you feel like you're in sort of some mystical fairy woods, which is lovely.
Oh.
Yeah, beautiful. Yeah.
Lovely. We must check that out. I don't know if we've ever been to Horsford Woods.
I don't think we have, no. Definitely going to have to give it a go now.
Yeah, when we're released from lockdown, we'll have to go and have a little look at that. Yeah, fantastic. Brilliant. And I suppose we couldn't really finish up the call with asking sort of what are the future plans for Art at Work? What are you guys doing? What have you got on for 2021?
So we've just started an interesting project with the Sainsbury Centre, and that's working alongside their Grace and Perry project or exhibition at the moment, which is really exciting. We get to kind of look at all the work, and we've got one of the curators coming to talk to the women on Tuesday about it. So that's exciting. I suppose we're going to sort of looking at more online delivery and ways to do that, and we're also just put a big bid in for a big social prescribing project, and whether we'll get that or not, but that's working with some great partners such as the Norfolk Wildlife Trust and System Systems Advice Bureau, so that we'd be sort of delivering.
Wow.
Social prescribing, did you say?
Yeah.
So what does that entail?
Kind of a new thing. Did you say what does it mean?
What does it does that entail?
So that's really so it's a bit like I did an art on prescription project project a few years ago. So it's the idea that you go to your doctor and instead of being prescribed medication, well, you may be prescribed medication, but he would also prescribe you sort of social activities to do. So that could be arts or walking. And so people would be going to their doctors with mental health issues, and then they'd be prescribed to come to us, if that makes sense.
That's a fabulous idea. I love that.
Yeah, definitely. And it worked really when I did a project before, I think with alongside Sweethearts, which Mel was sort of co-running at the time, and that we found that really did work in terms of like everyone. It was kind of evaluated, and everyone's well-being did sort of quite dramatically increase. So I think just that when you catch people at the right time, that when they're just going to their doctors that first stage, and we're sort of social animals, I think, aren't we? And we just need that creativity, which kind of opens your eyes up to the world and makes you look at things differently. But just being around people and other people in the same situation is very powerful, I think, very healing.
Definitely.
It sounds excellent, doesn't it?
Yeah, it sounds really interesting. Fantastic. So you're going to have quite a busy year by the sounds of it, hopefully.
I think
And where can everybody keep an eye on what Art at Work are doing?
So we have a website, which is www.artatwork.co.uk, which is kind of all the basic information. But I suggest following us on Instagram and Facebook, which is Art at Work Norwich, and that was kind of better for more up-to-date stuff. And actually, the zine that the women produced, you can actually download that and view that on there if you want to as well. So people, that might be quite a nice kind of thing for people to be able to give you some ideas and colouring in pages and stuff to keep yourself a bit. If people are sort of struggling a bit at home during this lockdown as well, they can go download that now. So they just scroll down a little bit.
I know you also mentioned that you sort of work with businesses as well. I've seen some things I've seen on social media from a few other kind of places that some businesses where they've got a lot of their workers working from home at the moment, they're bringing organisations in like yourselves to do stuff with them online to sort of boost their mental well-being while they're working remotely. And presumably businesses, if they want to do something like that with you, they can get in touch through those channels as well, can they?
Yeah, absolutely. And again, we're kind of designing sessions, we're working with Board and Housing actually to do a staff session with them in the next couple of weeks. And we've designed a sort of mindful drawing session, but it's also quite interactive. So like drawing things about seeing and getting people to explain to a colleague, try and draw something that in pairs and different activities. So that I think will be really nice. So it's the idea of not just sort of being creative, but also being creative with other staff members, which I think is really important, because I think that lack of connection with kind of people you're working with is really kind of essential. It's really essential to kind of to sort that out, really.
Thank you ever so much for your time, Holly. We hope you have a good and well year despite everything. We look forward to seeing the work that you're doing, particularly with things like the Sainsbury Centre. That sounds really interesting, and also the exhibition itself sounds really interesting as well. Thank you very much for your time, Holly. Take care.
Bye.
Cheers, Holly.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Bye. So there we go. I hope that has given you some ideas and inspiration for things to do and activities to feel better. For us, it's definitely sort of walking in our parks and open spaces. That you might already be doing things on a regular basis which you believe sort of improve your well-being or contribute to you feeling well. We'd love to hear about them. So do drop us a line or comment under one of our social media posts or wherever you found this podcast. We'd also love to hear your feedback on the episode. So any comments, do get in touch. Otherwise, we hope you are well and stay well, stay safe, and we will speak with you again soon.
Bye-bye.
Bye.